In this video, we will discuss about hypoxia, hypoxemia, and normoxia. And all these conditions are related to oxygen levels in the body. So we will start with the normoxia. Normoxia is basically normal condition or the normal oxygen levels in the blood. So let us first understand how the oxygen is transferred or how the oxygen process exchange between different sections occurs in the body. So oxygen, when we breathe the oxygen goes to the lungs, and from the lungs, this oxygen will be taken over by the red blood cells, and the component of the red blood cells that take over the oxygen is the hemoglobin molecules, and this oxygens will bind with hemoglobin molecules, and then they will move through blood vesicles, uh, and that helps in the transport of oxygens to different part of the body, or we can say at different tissues. Oxygens then can be transported through these blood vesicles to the different tissues or different tissue cells. So first we will understand what is the difference between hypoxia and hypoxemia. Usually people are use these terms interchangeably, but however this is not the case. Hypoxemia is the low oxygen levels in the blood, whereas this hypoxia is the low levels of oxygen in the tissue. So these are the slight differences. So here we will proceed further to understand what is this hypoxia condition and how it is different from normoxia. So this is described in this figure that is on the right hand side. So in normoxia conditions, what happens is that this HIF alpha forms a complex with HIF, PhD, and IKK, because and this conditions is required in order to form a complex. It requires oxygens. So whenever they form a complex, then that complex will lead to degradation, will leads to inhibition of this IKK pathway, and will also leads to degradation of this HIF alpha through ubiquitation pathway, and then finally move them towards proteasomal degradation. Because of this HIF alpha will not be able to move into the nucleus in order to upregulate inflammation. So this is the normal condition when the oxygen amount is enough sufficient within the cells. So in hypoxia condition, what happens is that due to lack of oxygen, this HIF alpha and PhD will not be able to form a complex. And with time, what happens is that HIF alpha will form a dimer with HIF beta, and both of them will then translocate towards a nucleus and then upregulate the gene that are responsible, that upregulate the genes uh, that promote hypoxia condition, we can say. And same, because of the lack of oxygens, this PhD will not be able to inhibit IKK pathway. So in normoxia condition is that since the IKK inhibition is there with the help of PhD, this nuclear or we can say NFK beta is inhibited, or will not be able, is suppressed, not completely inhibited, is suppressed with the help of IK beta. Whereas in case of this hypoxia condition, since IKK is not inhibited, so uh, it will phosphorylate the IK beta, or it will help in the phosphorylation of the IK beta, so that NK beta will get free, and then NK beta will move towards move or we can say translocate to the nucleus to upregulate the genes that are responsible for inflammation. And what happens with this IK beta? IK beta, after phosphorylation, it will go to proteasomal degradation. So this NFK beta will get free. And so in case of hypoxia, the genes that are or genes that promote hypoxia will get upregulated by this HIF alpha and HIF beta dimer, and the genes that are responsible for inflammation are upregulated by this NFK beta because of the release of NFK beta from IK beta by IKK. So this is how in within the cells the function changes, or we can say upregulations of the genes occurs in the hypoxia condition. I hope you have understood the difference between this hypoxia, hypoxemia, and normoxia. In this video, we have not discussed in detail how this hypoxemia is different from hypoxia within the cellular functions. However, uh, for now on only for this video, we have understood a general difference between these three conditions and a detailed overview about hypoxia. In some other video, we will discuss about hypoxemia. So I hope you have understood the basic idea about these three terms. If you need to understand more about these things in detail, you can go through the references that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.